Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar. So it's roughly titled GitHub for Collaboration. There's several different working titles for it. Maybe we should start by introducing ourselves. So I'm Richard Darst. I work at Aalto University in the Science IT or Aalto Scientific Computing group, where we help researchers do lots of stuff with computation and programming, all these kinds of things. So for us, GitHub is sort of a natural thing to do. Antti, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Antti Rousi, and I work as a data advisor in the research services, and I coordinate the data agent network. However, I'm a complete novice with regards to GitHub, so it looks very frightening, but I'm very happy to dive into it today. But that's it.
Okay. Great. Yeah, so the whole idea of this talk came, and it was quite a while ago. We were asking, besides GitHub or GitLab, these kind of things, how can people collaborate on big projects? So for example, here's a metaphor. So we say that when you're doing open science, saying send me an email to get the data or the code, that's not acceptable anymore. And I think probably if you're here, you agree with that. But then let's flip that around. So let's say I've done something and you see an improvement to it. Is it good that the only way to contribute is to send me an email saying, hey, please make this change. I think it can be a little bit better. And this is really, well, it can either be a problem or not a problem. So right now it's not a problem because we don't really have these big projects together. But I mean, maybe it should be. If you want to do something that's really big together, like write a book on open science or, make a website with all the best practices and things like that. I mean, what are the options? So you can have things like Google Docs where you can make suggestions and then accept them. But then if someone makes their own copy, suddenly it's two different things and they aren't synchronizing anymore. And the suggestions are like right there for everyone to see. And maybe that's not the ideal case if a lot of people are watching it. So anyway, the idea here is to look at GitHub and see, is it usable enough that we can recommend it to more people? And that's why Antti's here. So basically, we'll go through and look at some of the common things that you might want to do when working with other people on a project and see how it can be done. What do you think? Is this something you've ever thought about?
Well, a lot of options already come to my mind, and for example, like how would you, if you want to share these like methodological texts that make a contribution to open science, for example, and you want to do it at university level. So how do you keep people like suggesting content and so on and so forth? How do we, collaboratively keep the list up? So I think after this session, I'll go try it. So if I could do it, but yeah, it sounds very good. And yes, and obviously with regards to then sharing the code, maybe we can have some examples of those as well.
Yeah.
In the end. Yeah.
And I guess I'd point out this isn't just for collaborative projects. Like here at Aalto, we have pages on open science. And there's pages, like sometimes I see something, oh, I have this suggestion here, but it's not a page I made and I'm not the main person there. I don't want to just go edit something out for someone else without any review. But also I know sending an email saying, hey, I have this idea, that's just more work than it's worth. So yeah. But anyway, let's start. So we have an example page. It's called skicomp.aalto.fi. Maybe someone can dump it in the chat here. I see some people that know of it. And Antti, would you like to open it and share it?
Do you mean the web page for Aalto skicomp?
Yes, yeah. So this is a website we've made, and it is hosted on GitHub and built. Yeah, it's hosted. Yeah, okay, there. And Rico's pasted it. So it's hosted on GitHub and uses Git for everything. So if you share the screen, we can take a look at it.
Yes, just a sec.
And this kind of page is pretty standard these days. So some web pages are in something called a content management system where you can edit it directly on that page. But here we have the data of the website in version control. And then
now you should see it.
yes, I see. Okay, great. Yeah, and I mean, this is pretty, well, it looks like a web page. There's different themes and so on, but that's not the main point. On the left sidebar, there's a page that says data. Let's go there. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff written here. And we see some standard stuff like at the top, it says last update on a certain date. But what does Git give us? Can you click the history button up there? It's on the top right side.
Top right side.
Oh,
right here, there, yeah.
Yeah. And this shows what's been done lately. And what do you see from looking at the dates on here right now? I mean,
Well, it's been quite recently updated, I think.
yeah, that was me yesterday getting ready for today.
Oh, cool.
But then beyond that, I mean, it's pretty old there. You can see who's contributed, mostly me, a few other people, like someone fixed a few typos a while ago. But yeah, so basically with this, we can track the contributions of different people, which is important for credit, and then see, let's see, yeah, the contributions. Can you click the top link there? Yeah, right where you are there. And here we can see what the changes are. So you can easily go back and see if I've made a change, what happened. So what we see right here, there's a little expert of it, and what's in green shows that I added this one line here. Test sentence with an error for demonstration purposes, please ignore.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So with this, which a bunch of people working together, even if people do make changes, we can easily see what they are and like revert them or ask, hey, what about this? And so on. Yeah. Okay. Can you scroll up again and go back to the main repository page? So it's where it says ski comp. Yeah, there. Let's click there.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So this shows what's in the repository. And for the purposes of this talk, we don't need to worry what's here. It's basically a bunch of files. And it looks sort of like the website does. There's Aalto about, data, help, images, so on. If you scroll down a little bit more, there's a README file. And it says about this site, how to contribute, things like that. So basically,
here?
yeah, but it's also in line right below if you scroll down a bit more.
Right.
It's the same there.
Right.
So that means with every project, we have this metadata that goes along with it that can tell someone who goes there, okay, what is this? How can you contribute? How's it used? And so on. So since this is a website, it mostly talks about how someone can contribute to it and what the syntax is and stuff like that.
Cool.
But we don't need to worry about that right now. Okay, we do see that this project says it welcomes contributions by other people, so that's good.
Oh, where does it say?
Down in the README in one of the paragraphs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like it's towards the top of it, but anyway. Okay. So for a project, we need a way to communicate. Can you scroll up a little bit?
Yep.
And go to, there's a tab there that says issues with the number 8 by it. Next to code.
Here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Code issues here. Cool.
So this is a way we can discuss projects together. So, for example, here I gave an example yesterday. I made a comment that the data section is old and outdated. And can you click on it? And now there's a whole discussion forum here. So basically, well, you can read it.
Ah, I see. Okay.
It's like me saying, okay, I think this is something we should work on. Data is old and long ago, and I give an idea for it. And this isn't just restricted to the people that are in the project. Anyone with the GitHub account can come and give comments and suggestions this way. And we have a whole discussion here. Like you can write a comment down below. Yes, this is a good idea. No, it's not. Okay, what about this? And so on.
But I'm still confused, like which is the data section this refers to? Like I don't understand this, but maybe you'll explain it.
Yeah, we'll. So the data section is a folder in the Git repository.
Okay.
Like this issue itself isn't linked to it anyhow. It just says it in the title, the data section.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you'd have to know that, oh, there's a data folder in here that has different things and so on.
Cool.
So, yeah, so basically, once you get these big projects and there's people, you can actually start discussing with the community and so on. And this is sort of like the first way people can get involved in something else. And this is better than sending stuff to personal email or using an internal chat and so on like that, because those aren't open. Like people can't come by later and see what you talked about or find, okay, why is the data section like it is now? And so on.
Yeah, I agree. This is really good.
Okay. Yeah, and you can do things like give thumbs up and so on with these emoji reactions there. Anyway, let's go on. Let's make some edits. So let's say you see a sentence that you would like to fix. So if you go back to the code tab, we can go to data.
Should I open that?
Yes, yeah. And then index.rst. Okay, and this is what the file looks like. We see it looks, well, looks roughly like it. Some of the links are broken and things like that. But anyway, if you click. Mhm.
No, I was just
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
Excited to see.
If you click code towards the top, like there's preview code and blame.
Okay.
This is what the raw text code looks like.
I see.
So, I mean, it's not that hard to understand. I mean, in practice, when people are contributing to these projects, you'll find something that does what you need and then modify it.
I think it's cool. It's on a black background because then you feel like you're
Yeah.
already really professional. I'm sorry, that was inappropriate.
No, it's yeah. Okay, and then next is blame, which is a sort of bad term for it. It comes from a term long ago, but if you scroll down a little bit, we see on the left side, it shows when every line was last updated. So we see like these top lines, like most of these are updated 6 years ago, except for the 16 hours ago one, which was me last night.
So it shows the person history, or do I
Exactly.
understand correctly? Okay, I see.
For every line, who made the last update and when.
I see. Okay.
So, I mean, if there is something like this that's really old and out of date, you can confirm what parts are old, what's new, and so on.
I see. Really cool.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, it's more useful than others. Like when you're doing code and stuff like that, it's really useful. For making websites, well, maybe not, but
well,
if you need it, there.
Well, if you have like a text of a collection of methodological text by Aalto research, I think it's quite important to know when it's updated or.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
So
that's a good point. Yeah. Like, is this procedure up to date? Has anyone looked at it lately? And so on. Okay, so let's fix the sentence. So if you go to the top right side, there's a pencil icon. Yeah, let's
Okay.
click there. And now you're in an editor. So if you go to line 12, we see test sentence with error. Let's fix the error, which is the 4x's.
Okay.
So you can remove those. And now there's a green button that appeared at the top right. You can click commit changes. And there's a commit message. So here you give more metadata. So you can say fixing a typo in a sentence or something like that. So there's two parts here. There's commit message in the top line and extended description. And both can be edited differently.
Oh.
So here we see like there are actually two text boxes here you can edit.
Like this
Yeah,
comment.
that.
And
And the first one's
extended.
like a quick summary that appears in the brief history, and the bottom one you see when you see more. Yes. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Okay,
Now.
and let's click commit changes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, you just updated the page.
I see.
That's basically all there is. So if you can understand that text and write some stuff, you can update our webpage now. And GitHub also notifies us that there's been a change. So if something ever was wrong, we would see and could fix it. So it'll take a minute or two to update on the skicomp.aalto.v page.
Okay. Okay.
So basically in the background, it goes and rebuilds it and then publishes it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. We could wait for it to happen, but I think that's not really.
Yeah, I actually. Yep.
Maybe in the chat, someone can say whenever you see it happen.
So this is the backend of a website. Like, are there other types of repositories, or do they all have this like this kind of internal backend and then
So
the external product, so to say?
every Git repository is like this.
Okay.
So from the GitHub point of view, there's nothing special about this being a website or anything. It could be code, it could be data files. Like if you're collecting data in the field or something like that, you could be adding it here and modifying it, for example.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have different kind of then like output templates for the repositories, or do they all look the
Yeah.
same? Or
Yeah, I mean, there's different programs that make the websites and different templates, and well, basically everything can be configured.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And about websites in general, this is not how every website looks. So many websites like Aalto.v, they have a database backend where you can't see the raw text and you can only interact with it through the web interface. And some of these things that Git makes easy is harder. And some things that the other site like Drupal on Aalto.v makes easy is harder here. So it's sort of a trade-off. Okay. So we're going to look at pull request or change proposals. So at the top next to issues, you see pull requests.
Pull requests here. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So this is the way people can make a suggestion without actually making the change directly. So in the background, yeah, so basically if someone is not at Aalto, they don't already have permission, they can still make one of these like this here. So one of my colleagues once gave a comment that pull request is like change proposal. Basically, pull request is the GitHub terminology for it, but whatever. So we see here number 670, the top one, there's a change I've made. And if you click on that, you see a message, so some discussion. So it says that I found a few broken links in some quick checks, and I think this is okay to merge right away. And then let's click Files Changed.
Files
It's
changed
there, yeah.
there.
Okay. And here, now this shows exactly what I've tried to change. So there's this whole big long page we were looking at before, but now it's zoomed down to be these two links. So in red is what is removed, and in green is what is added. So we see the changes. It's no longer on wiki.aalto.fi, but now www.aalto.fi and a different URL for it.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And then the bottom one is a different Academy of Finland link.
Can you still explain the what was this again? Like pull
So this is me. Okay, so what happened here last night?
requests?
I
Yeah.
wanted to make an example. So I
Okay.
went and I found two links on the page that were broken because, I mean, it hasn't been updated for many years by now. And then I made the change. And instead of making the change directly, I made a change proposal. So then it comes here and goes in a queue where someone else can come and look at it, and then they can say, yes, this is good, let's merge it, or no, let's not merge it. Can you refresh the page? I so actually I just removed your permission to make merges while we were hiding there, but I shouldn't have. Can you go back to the main page? Yeah, there.
Oh.
Yes, can you view invitation and accept it? It's this blue box.
Ah, yeah, right.
Okay, accept invitation. Okay, let's go back to pull requests. And then to the one before, the first one. And now at the bottom, it's all the same stuff. We see a new merge pull request button.
Ah, right. Right.
Yeah. So do you think this was a good change you just made, or that I proposed?
Well, I guess. I guess.
It seems pretty obvious, right? You know,
Yeah.
it's a couple link fixing.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let's click merge pull request.
I just have hard time maybe understanding the terminology, like pull request, like, but maybe yeah.
So, I mean, it's a bunch of terminology from coding. You don't really need to worry. I
Okay.
guess the everyday language terminology is change proposal and accept change proposal.
Ah, okay.
And
Okay,
what
I get it.
happens in
Yeah.
the background doesn't really matter for starters. Like it all works. Okay, and there we go. And now again, we wait a couple minutes and it will appear on the main page again. So what do you think? Was this useful?
Yes, yes. Very like I think we should start I should start kind of building a repository so I can get like, because otherwise I'll start just emailing all the people like like that was be the, you know, yeah, you understand the irony in emailing people in the technical sciences, like which
Yeah,
articles you want to.
yeah,
So yeah, I should really look
yeah,
into this, and I very much appreciate it.
yeah.
You kind of, but
Oh,
I did I survive okay? Like
yeah.
I
Well, we're
did
not
everything.
quite done yet.
Okay.
So now I remove you for real. Let's see what it's like to be an outside collaborator. So let's
Right.
say you're not at Aalto, you're not in our team, whatever. Let's go
Okay.
back to the code view.
Okay.
And let's click on data again and go to the index page.
Data and index. So here it's
data,
this.
yes. Mhm. And index. Okay, let's make another edit and remove this test sentence completely now.
Oh, okay.
So you can click on the pencil again. Okay. So now we get to something where you want to make a change, but you can't update our repository. So fork is the GitHub terminology for making your own copy of the repository.
Ah, okay.
So you click fork and it handles it for you.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And now here we are at the edit view again. So the lines 12 and 13, you can remove them.
Okay.
And the other blank lines. Yes. Okay. And that's it. So basically anything else here, you could also be making changes just like this. It's not that hard. And you
Okay.
can click commit changes.
Okay.
So now here, this doesn't say commit changes, but propose changes. So
Ah, right.
now, yeah, like what you're about to do isn't affecting our repository at all, only your copy of it, which is fine
Ah,
because it's your
okay.
copy. So you can write on here like removing the test sentence or whatever. Okay. And then you can propose changes. And it goes here. Okay, so this is the difference you made. So basically it gives you a chance to confirm what you're doing right before you do it to make
Ah,
sure
okay.
it's going to
Okay.
work.
Cool.
And there's also ways we can do things like have it generate a preview of it before it's actually fully merged. So you can see, okay, does it look right and so on. And yeah, like you're doing, create pull request. And this is pre-filled with the comments from your commit. You can basically just hit create pull request. Okay. So
Very cool.
here you are. And I am making a comment myself, which, yeah, so there you can see my comment. So we're discussing there.
Ah, I see.
I can also go there and if you click files changed, mm, so, oh, this looks different somehow. Well, anyway, this shows what's happened in the pull request. So I can go, for example, say, uh, let's see if it appears right away. Can you refresh the page? Look, so now I made a comment on one of the lines. So this is just yet more ways for us to discuss what's
Ah, I
happening
see.
and, so basically all this collaboration stuff and working together on every change becomes a really low threshold kind of thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. I still have hard time understanding the overall structure of the repository with
Yeah.
the RST files and
Yeah.
such.
I
But
mean, I'm not even trying to discuss that right now.
okay,
So I'd say
I
like that can
understand.
be a whole other talk. Like we can go into detail some other time, but my assumption for now is that for starting off, someone would ask someone to help them set up something like this and help support it. And people could learn more and more about it as time goes on.
I see. Okay.
I mean, after all, it can be a collaborative thing. Like not everyone has to know everything about every bit of it. Okay, can you go back to the conversation view up there? Actually, you can
Oh,
go to checks. Can next to files change?
thanks.
This is something that says it tried to build the page and it didn't find any errors in it, which can be another useful check to make sure that you haven't really broken it badly or something like that. You can click on commits, and that shows what the changes are. So there might be multiple changes at once that you can see separately, but not really important for us right now. And then let's go back to conversation. And now I will click on my own screen. If you scroll down, you see you can't merge it anymore. but I will
right.
click the merge pull request. And then there it is. So now it's merged. GitHub updates your screen live.
Cool.
So
Cool.
what did we get here? I mean, this is a way that can really transform how we work together on things, whether it's data or code or websites, documentation, other material, stuff like that. It is a little bit harder because of the lack of live previews and things like that. But I think there are ways to sort of show more previews than otherwise. Actually, I should have checked some of that now. But anyway, I think this is basically the way open science can go. And what's the biggest problem here? It's the usability. I mean, this is cool when we're walking together, but is it something that we can recommend anyone else to go learn and use and so on? And that I'm really not quite so sure about yet. Okay, I've done enough talking. What are your thoughts?
Uh, my thoughts are very positive. Like I think definitely. So I think what you're suggesting is also that maybe GitHub could be perhaps used in other fields other than like software, and
Yeah.
I very much sort of believe so. So this sort of, in some ways, it's hard to say. It would be interesting to hear from the audience what they think, and or do they have any other applications. I'll definitely try to use it,
Yeah,
for
I
example,
mean,
when I want to activate the Aalto community some way. So
yeah, I mean, like the kind of things we could do is start thinking, okay, do we want some joint open science documentation for everyone? Like, for example, for the slide we're editing here, it's for Aalto, but the information is useful to other people. And sometimes there are people from other universities that are referring to our information for certain tasks about computing. And they'll come and submit pull requests saying, hey, this is out of date. Can you update it? Or if you do this, it'll be a little bit more useful to us, and so on. And this is really good. Like, this is the spirit of open science and all that. So, yeah.
yeah, I'll look into this definitely when
Yeah.
I think I should attend the code refinery, but I don't know if you do separate.
I mean, I mean, Code Refinery is definitely for people that do programming and stuff like that.
Yes,
But
right.
I think that this, like, my vision would be in a year or two, we have a way to use it without being a programmer and without needing to worry about all of these things and so on.
Really cool. I wonder if when there's time, could we see like a software project here, like and how it
Yeah.
is arranged, and what makes it a good software project arrangement?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if like I would be interested. I don't know if the other people in the audience, like I especially because you taught this topic for such a long time, like it would be nice to hear what you highlight about it.
Yeah. There's someone asking in chat about continuous integration features for GitLab. So this is what we're seeing here is GitHub, which is a commercial service from a company. But there's other ways to use Git. So there's something really similar called GitLab. It's basically the same thing, except it's open source, or more precisely has an open source version of it, which is what's being run right here at Aalto at version.aalto.v. So basically, it uses Aalto accounts. It's maintained by Aalto. It uses Aalto data storage. Our IT services provides the support for it and things like that. So this is a way you can collaborate like this on things that are internal or confidential. So that's good to know. But now someone in chat is asking about continuous integration resources. So basically what happens here, we make the change and then in the background, something is running and then that's what updates the web page. But at Aalto, we don't have these things that run in the background that can run some process and then make a web page and then deploy it. And if we did have that, it would be easier to do this internally. But this is a different thing to set up. So to answer this question, it would be nice if we had it. This is not something that we run ourselves. From what I understand, people can make their own GitLab runners to basically run the code. Like, so in theory, someone could, on your own computer or with a virtual machine requested from IT services, take it and install the GitLab runners and then be able to do this kind of thing using Aalto's own GitLab setup. But yeah, maybe I can ask again inside if we can possibly do that. And if you would need help setting up the GitLab runners, my team could probably help with that, could figure out how it works. And well, you need to get the place to run it from somewhere, like maybe the IT services virtual machine. But yeah, in theory, we can help you do this kind of thing. I guess send an email to us.
Should I stop sharing
there.
for?
Yeah, I guess you can stop sharing. Yeah, now we're
Thanks.
in the discussion time. Are there any other comments or questions from chat? And if not, we can stop recording and then have a voice chat also. So I guess if I had to say what the goal would be, like together, we can try to find some projects for which this is useful. For this kind of cross-university worldwide collaboration is good. And then, set it up slowly and begin working that way.
That sounds great. I think I still need your help in
Well, yeah, I mean, of
setting it up.
course.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone needs help for everything. Like even using Aalto.fi, we sometimes need other
That's
people's
true.
help
Yeah,
to do
that's
that.
a good point. Like
I
I need
mean,
help all the time. Yeah.
yeah. Do it a few times and you won't. I mean, you learn by doing.
Very cool. So
Okay.
should we stop the recording maybe?
Yeah, I guess let's stop recording. Thank you to everyone who attended, and yeah, contact us if you have further follow-up questions or would like to take this into use, because like I said, our team supports this kind of stuff.